Sag, welcome to your general overview. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. The general overview is exactly that. It is a concentrated energy reading for the collective. So I'm going to touch on things like past, present, and future. In my experience, they tend to gravitate towards around one core concept that's with us quite a bit frequently. And it could be something that's very, very present-oriented, or something that's been with us for years, but still working out or playing out in our lives in a particular way. More often than not, that's typically what I see. But ultimately, I'll never really know. And that's why it's good to check in with the collective at the energetic level, just with one core concept. All right? But yeah, like always, regardless, take what resonates, leave what does not, and reverse energies as it applies if another energy pops up. Okay? But yeah, just because it says Sag in the title doesn't mean it's for you. That's perfectly normal. In which case, check your other placements, or I'll catch you on the next one. For some of you, it applied to you 2 years ago. For some of you, it'll apply to you 2 years from now. I never know. But most of us fall somewhere in between. Okay, what is going on, please, for Sagittarius? What is going on, please, for Sagittarius? Show me, Sagittarius. What's going on, please, for Sagittarius? What's going on? Show me, Sag. What's going on for Sag, please? Show me, Sag. Show me, Sag, please. Three of Swords, Nine of Cups, Page of Cups. Yeah. It's been hard for you to keep your heart open, but nevertheless you are doing it. We'll get back to that. Hanged Man, Four of Swords. I agree, Four of Wands. It's good to take some time out, get perspective on relationship. Now, I can't tell if you're currently in one and you're reflecting on it, healing it, or that's you reflecting upon your thoughts about what constitutes relationships. Temperance, that's you. Excellent. Five of Pentacles. Regardless, I see you healing. Regardless of what your relationship status is, whether or not you're in something or not, the core is relationships. What should they look like? What should they feel like? How should I be feeling in them? Should they make me feel whole and complete and restored, healthy, vibrant? If so, am I ready for that as an individual? Because I still see you being, this is what threw me off a little bit, I see you at the core of things being you, an individual person, an independent person, strong spirit like always. What I'd expect nothing less from the Sagittarian collective. And you showed me individuation a couple times. Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Temperance, that's you. I can't help but wonder, reflecting your thoughts upon relationships in the general respect with the Hanged Man there. Trying to understand your truth. Ace of Swords, to discern it and then thus act upon it. It's not enough to know it. We have to live up to it. Ace of Swords has a lot of power attached to it. It's not just thought, it's action as well. Let's start right there. Let's see what's going on with your Ace of Swords. But Three of Swords, Nine of Cups, Page of Cups, that kind of speaks for itself, right? There's pain in the heart, there's fear in the heart, there's rejection in the heart, but we're keeping our heart open nonetheless. In other words, you're showing me some process of recovery. Someone who tends to have fresh pain typically isn't trying very hard to keep their heart open. So that tells me you're in some place in recovery with a much stronger sense of focus on you, okay, what makes you happy. But more than that, being personally pleased with yourself. More than that, having love for yourself. Nine of Cups is personal love, okay? So it's not just about wish fulfillment and being pleased. That's superficial. Now, can you live for the superficial? Sure. Is that what I'm saying here? No. You're saying I want to feel good about me again, right? I want to love myself again, and there's something about your perception of relationships that is shifting, changing, healing yourself to it. Am I ready for it? Do I even want to participate in it? You know? Is there one that you're in that you're contemplating that you need to put it on pause? Okay, because perhaps you're not done yet. There's that too. Because I still see you, I don't know that I'm ready. But I do want to be healthy, and I do want to be happy. And you got Temperance here, Five of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. You're putting a lot of constructive work into you, particularly in the sense of fear of abandonment, okay, in healing from old constructs, old pain, in the anticipation of being hurt or let down by someone that you were in commitments with, relationships with, have feelings for, okay. And then healing yourself to anything that might have been broken, even if it's not a fear of abandonment. So Let's keep on. Show me your truth, please. Show me that Ace of Swords, please. I'm seeing a lot of introspection for you today. Show me that Ace of Swords, please. Show me that Ace of Swords. Show me that Ace of Swords. Show me that Ace of Swords, please. Two of Cups, the universe, the world. Seven of Pentacles. There is a truth in you that you seem to stand by, or you seem to know is true. You're telling me you identify something as an absolute truth and that it's not really negotiable. You're struggling with it, but nonetheless it's true. There's something or someone here that you loved. I don't know that the love was shared or reciprocated, but you do know firmly that you had honest... Yeah, candle just went out. You do know that you had honest feelings for whatever a situation was. You honestly knew this. Ace of Swords. Truth. You knew it. Nonetheless, you're saying, nevertheless, Christina had to do something about it. And there was a cycle here. You seem to understand as best you can that it was slow growing. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, assuming it doesn't stagnate. In other words, it doesn't develop further. You're saying that there was a lack of emotional development on at least one person's side. In other words, not on the same page. No matter how much time or patience you gave it, no matter how long you two have known each other, because the Seven of Pentacles is still a lot of years attached to it. It's the implication of duty. I show up, I attend the garden, you know. It's not a very successful garden, but it could be, right? That's what's so damn frustrating about the Seven of Pentacles and why it's one of my least favorites, because it's like the worst tease in the world, because you end up putting time, energy, effort into something or someone, and that means you develop roots, right? Your roots are intertwined with someone else, their feelings, their world, and you got the years behind you to justify keep doing it, right? But it's not exactly the highest payout. And that's where you get that stagnation energy. So by all means, there's nothing wrong with a slow-growing love. It's just how much time has passed and what do you have to show for it. And somebody's very slow to their feelings. Okay, fine. But will they ever catch up? Somebody here. You have a truth in you that recognizes these elements to some extent. So you either recognize that element within you, my feelings for this situation or person topped out and I know they can't get any more developed in this, or you recognize that in someone else because it's a strong truth regardless. I recognize that in that person, their feelings have gone so far and they won't go any further. It's stagnated, it died, or they won't put more into it. Because again, that's a garden of cultivation. So that means it's somebody's choice to put as little into it as they did, or to put as much into it as they did. If someone wanted to put more of themselves into it, they could. But they don't. So that's real world activity, and it's non-negotiable. You can only take something so far, where someone's only willing to put so much of themselves into it. It's either yours or theirs, but it's a truth. And so that Two of Cups, emotionally not growing at the same pace at the same time, is true for somebody, you or them. And you got cycled. Okay, easier said than done. So it's looking like it's kind of after the fact, and it's something that it's still with you up here mentally. You're still working through it. You're still processing it. It's a solid truth. It's not disputed in your mind. It's not questionable. It's not fuzzy. You're looking at it, okay, logically, analytically. This is what's before me as I understand, and I'm still processing that. And some of you are in this space of, I'm currently processing this, Christina. So those of you, it's already after the fact. I'm leaning more towards after the fact, given you're coming from a place of pain and that now you seem to be in a place of reflection about relationships. Show me this Three of Swords, please. Show me this Three of Swords. Show me that Three of Swords. Show me that Three of Swords. But, you know, it should be said more often. the world being what it is. It's not just about things closing, it's about opening. Or one door closes or a window closes, however you want to put it, another opens. It's not instantaneous. It very rarely is. Very rarely. But that's the implication. We couldn't have allowed for other things to enter our life unless we closed off something that was non-productive. It wasn't growing, it wasn't stable, or the contribution level was way off. Right? Which means, again, it still isn't healthy or stable. You know? Right? That should be part of your understanding as well. Show me that Three of Swords, please. Show me that Three of Swords. Show me that Three of Swords, please, in the recent past. I say recent, but that's up to you. Excuse me. Show me that Three of Swords. Knight of Swords, the Five of Wands, Nine of Swords. Keeping whatever this is in you, in your head, in your mind, in your heart, has caused you a great deal of pain. Okay. It's been with you, specifically in your feelings, for a long time, and caused you a great deal of conflict, mentally and emotionally. It's kind of like I always knew it was headed in this direction. And I fought myself on it. I fought myself on what I knew. You did. That's a hell of a battlefield, honey. And you are a fighter. No one in their right mind would dispute that. You are a fighter. But your biggest enemy was you. You fought you a great deal on this subject. You were who you knew. You knew it was headed in this direction. You just didn't want to know what you knew. But you knew. That's the Sag I'm looking at today. So if this isn't yours, don't force it to fit. You'll just cause yourself upset. I'm looking at a Sag who's already digested this fact, and it's after the fact. So in other words, you know. And for the Sag who hasn't gotten here yet, you eventually will. And you're watching this and you're probably upset if you are not in this space yet of understanding that you are fighting against what you knew. Okay? So it's not an offense and it's not a challenge. Don't take it as one. I'm reading the cards. No judgment. Sometimes you fight really, really hard to keep yourself from feeling rejection. Especially if you can anticipate it. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like, Christina? You know something's not going to work out. You just know. But you don't want to know. That's the anticipation of Three of Swords. I know I'm going to be hurt by this. But I don't want to know that. I don't want that. I'm not ready to have that be my reality, so I'm going to keep fighting this. And in so doing, I'm going to keep fighting myself and what it is I know. You had a lot of mental knowledge here, a lot of it, and you wanted to reject every one of it. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. And it was just, you know where it comes from, honey. It's exactly what I was saying. It's to stave off the inevitable. It's to stave off the pain. It's to stave off, you just know. Okay. And that Three of Swords, classically, the classic representation of the Three of Swords is fear of rejection. I know this is going to hurt me, so I'm not gonna. You knew that whatever this was going to hurt you. But you kept participating in it. You were fighting yourself, essentially. Okay, not the other person or the situation. You were fighting you. All right? And that's where the angst came in, and that's why your knowledge is so solid today. You understand and accept the fact that this cycled out, and it didn't mean the same, and somebody was fighting unnecessarily to stave off the inevitable. Okay? I understand. Show me that Nine of Cups, please. So again, I like the acceptance here. And while the acceptance of it comes with a great deal of weight, doesn't the acceptance of the thing feel a lot better than being back here, still fighting yourself? Right? It's got to be the world's slowest Band-Aid pull I've ever seen. Slowly pull it off. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. I have a 10-year-old. And then when you teach them about Band-Aids and how to clean their cuts, and okay, and it's time to take the Band-Aid off, and then they go for the ow, ow, ow. It's the anticipation of that Three of Swords. I know this is going to hurt me, so I don't want to do it. And you teach them, as a parent, just rip it off, honey. And then it's done before you know it, right? We're never too old to relearn that. Just rip it off. Be done with it. You know it's coming. So you acting like you don't know what's coming is just delaying everything and making it that much worse. The mental anticipation is much worse than the thing itself, yeah? It's a lot of mental anticipation. I'm not going to get hurt, I'm not going to get hurt, I'm not going to call this, etc. You know what I'm saying? Show me that Nine of Cups, please. Show me that Nine of Cups, show me that Nine of Cups, show me that Nine of Cups. Show me that Nine of Cups, please. No, we cannot be in that place of, no, we know. Okay, the Lovers, of course, Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, so much resistance. I got it, baby, I got it. I have a strong connection here, and somebody kept putting that energy forward. I want to give this to you, I want to give this to you, I want to give this to you, I want to give you something strong, solid. And somebody else put up the walls of resistance. Somebody kept trying to offer the best of themselves, their energy, to make it solid, to make it real. Very strong, powerful connection the Lovers is. And the Lovers in original tarot, old school tarot, OG tarot, is called the Choice. They changed it, they, whoever they are, because people kept confusing it with Judgment. But yeah, originally the Lovers is called the Choice. And here's the thing, you can have a powerful connection with somebody all day long, but unless those two people choose it, it will always break or separate. And sometimes it comes back together to resolve issues, 100%. A true Lovers connection is always going to be challenging. And depending on one person having learned their crap and the other person, and it can come back and forth like that. But the thing is, every time we reject our lover, rejecting the choice by acting like we don't have one, or we insist we don't have the same feelings, or we fight ourselves on it, conflict that comes up, I'm not ready, because those Lovers connections can be so damn powerful and magnetic that we're drawn to it, but we're scared of it at the same time. So somebody wants a taste of it, but they can't give themselves fully to it. The other person, somebody here is marked clearly with, I'm trying to give myself to this, and it keeps getting rejected. And I believe it's you, because you had, from the very beginning, fear of rejection. You knew how it was going to end, but that didn't keep you from putting up a damn good fight. Okay? And trying to work through those thoughts and spur yourself forward, and I can handle this, and no, I can't. You know, how many times was your energy or your real world proposal energy supposed to be rejected and defeated? And this is beautiful, but I'm not going to accept it, Sag. Ultimately, somebody was prepared to reject it, and ultimately somebody was prepared to try to give it. And I hate saying shit like this, I really do, because that means the other person encouraged or wanted you to try, but they knew they were ultimately going to reject, just like you ultimately knew it was going to be defeated. I hate saying crap like this, I do, because first of all, it's very relatable, and if you've ever been through that, you know how frustrating it is, how discouraging it is, and how mentally and emotionally hurtful that is, right? But I hate saying it because it really accumulates to what looks like a big giant waste of time. And it feels like that. So while I'm very happy and thankful for the Sag I'm looking at that you were in a place of acceptance, okay, and it is exactly what I saw. Somebody was offering, the other person liked that they were receiving an offer but had no intention of taking it. It's that old bullshit dynamic, but it's because you're both meant to learn something from it. You're both meant to learn something from it. And somebody's offer to really bond the Lovers, okay, to really bond it, to choose it, kept getting rejected. But somebody received it with pleasure nonetheless. And you loved it. You love them. You love the love is here. Otherwise your effort wouldn't be here. And so even while you were engaging in it, it was causing you conflict because you knew the inevitable answer. Right? Every time you put yourself forward, you felt the rejection in some way. But by God, you kept cracking at it. I know. There you go. And despite all this, you've had a hell of a time trying to keep your heart open towards yourself, towards your goals. Or it could be them. What they were trying to offer was very little. I don't know. Because I am seeing that. You know. I am seeing that. But you knew. You knew this was, well, absolutely a battle you weren't winning, but you didn't know about the war, right? Yeah. Show me that Page of Cups, please. Ace of Wands, the Six of Cups, Judgment. Oh my, yes, so. God, they wanted this too. They have their own judgment in there. They had their own judgment in there. What they will learn about this concept in time, I don't know. You had your lesson. I'm sure they had theirs. I still retain that you've done a hell of a job trying to keep your heart open towards yourself and this situation, even if you felt it was defeating ultimately. They had a lesson in there too. The soul bond's here a couple of times. Basically, it's like, hey, whoever you are, this isn't incidental. Sag is here for a reason. Open yourself up to the lesson. Open your heart open towards the lesson. Yeah, it called to them too, but their heart was so much like this, and that's okay when you first put yourself out there and you are being a little bit vulnerable, but it cannot sustain such a large lesson or such a large connection. They had such a big energy resonating with you, and the delivery of it was so very small. And marked with the Ace of Wands, and check this out. This is for you. This could be good for you. Judgment, this is your lesson. Soul bond, learn something from it, love it, engage in it, participate in it. It's for you. You're going to get something out of it. And their heart remains so small. And here you are trying to be like the Lovers, Ace of Pentacles, just to have it rejected over and over again. So you gave a great deal. You expressed a great deal. You took a great deal of action towards this person. Even while it caused you conflict, you did it nonetheless. They cannot say half as much. They cannot say half as much. Did they have the feeling? Did they? I don't even know about the feeling, honey. To give more, you'd have to know that you felt more. So I don't know how much they allowed their feeling to come through for this little guy. But the availability at the spiritual and energetic level was there for them to understand. This required more of their participation, not less. Lessons, you know. You, about giving too much and fighting, even though it goes against your instinct. Like you shouldn't be fighting this hard. Especially when you know or feel that you already have the results or the answer. Oh, I know. When you already have the results, but you want to reject the results, and you already have the answer, but you don't want that answer, so you keep doing it. That's where all that conflict comes in. So when I tell you, I'm happy to see, again, upon your opening, that there's an acceptance here. It's been cycled out, at least as we energetically we understand it. It looks like it's been cycled out for now. And somebody's feelings were too slow to develop. And frankly, they probably weren't allowed to, or they didn't allow themselves to. Okay? So if that helps, I'm not trying to make it about them or they, and this is not an excuse for you to wallow in sadness or misery. Your point is to learn, reflect, heal. Learn, reflect, heal. Learn, reflect, heal. Okay? That's what this whole concept has been about, as far as I can tell. So let's see what you're learning in present day about relationships and healing of them specifically. Show me that Hanged Man, please. Show me that Hanged Man. Show me that Hanged Man. Show me that Hanged Man, please. For Sag. Show me that Hanged Man, please. Ten of Cups, Ten of Wands, and Four Cups. Yeah, I think that's a good lesson. That's a good reflection. Pause, time out, I agree. In terms of the emotional front, we're not building any cups with anybody at this time. Not that I can see. We've put a pause on that whole thing, at least for the interim or the time being, where you're giving heavy, heavy contemplation to the instability of emotionality. I agree, that's a thing too. So we all know foundation, right? Pentacle, it can be solid, stable. We also know that our foundation can be unstable, thus the contradiction. Same is true for a Ten of Cups. You can have emotional stability with people, that's called the harmony, okay? And then you have emotional instability with people as well, and that's what you're showing me here. Emotional instability in a dynamic equals no good, correct? And we're learning about this and reflecting upon it, the Four of Cups, and trying to force emotional harmony between you and someone else, or to get them to catch up, because I see slowness attached to this person. Small and slowness. That's not a good combination when you have such a strong connection, because the slowness will never keep up pace with the other person who recognizes the connection. And then, again, being slow with your feelings is one thing, but when you've had more than enough time to catch up with somebody, to know what the other person wants and that you're not willing to give it, that means you're playing along, but you're not really trying. That's why I have a problem with it. This person was playing along, but they weren't really trying, okay? Why they were playing along at all? Well, I can see the energy exchange behind them that suggests that they were supposed to. But you can't make someone in reality. That's what free will is. So that's why I say in tarot, this is what frustrates people. You see that interplay, and this is that classic interplay between destiny and fate and free will. It is both. You have both. This person has a lesson attached to them, but their free will dictated that they only got so involved. Why? I don't know. You're just reflecting upon it as acceptance. They could never catch up to me, or they were never fully in it. They felt something, so they got something, but they didn't really give themselves to it. You're right, they didn't. Okay? So you overcompensated and it caused you conflict. I've seen that a million times, and I'm sure I'll see it a million more times. But the point is, Hanged Man, time out. No emotional engagement with anybody, because we want emotional stability. We need to feel better about us first, ourselves. Never mind the emotional construct with someone else. Okay? But yeah, we don't want that. We don't want emotional instability. We need to be good with ourselves first, 100%. And so we're healing. Time out. Four Swords. As we reflect upon these things, as we reflect upon emotional building, emotional stability, not having to fight, right, ourselves or someone else. Free will of emotions. You can choose to love someone, you can choose to engage, or you can choose to hang back and not really get in there, you know. And I feel like that's what this person did. But you had a lesson too, let's not forget that. You were fighting your instinct. You knew how this was going to... You knew who they were. You knew who they were. Strong, powerful soul bond connection aside, I have every reason to believe, Sag, this person demonstrated to you over and over again who they are, and you kept fighting it. You knew they were sporting a Page of Cups. Big energy behind them? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Did they know, appreciate it, or act on it? No. You know? They showed you many times who they were, and that was your lesson, to stop giving so much of yourself to someone who wasn't prepared to accept it or grow with you at the same pace, knowing what you felt or what you wanted. Okay? Yeah. Eight of Wands, Four of Wands, the Queen of Cups. What's interesting, I see you resting, I see you healing. I got some sort of Four of Wands. Again, that Four of Wands is here twice for you. Queen of Cups, heart space is softening. Communication. What is this? What is this, please? Actually, no, let's switch it up. I tend to switch decks about halfway if you're new to the channel. Hello. I don't believe in using just one singular deck, because then you run out of cards and then you get left with what's left, so that doesn't make any sense. Should always switch it up. Freshen up the energy. Show me that Four of Wands, please. Show me that Four of Wands. Like I was telling Lito, I have literally seen tarot readers use a deck and then all the best cards come out. So what do you think's left over for the end of the reading? All the bad ones. And then the reverse. I've seen it many times. No, you got to switch out the energy, freshen it up. That way you know if you're getting energetic consistency. Show me that Four of Wands, please. Show me that Four of Wands. What is this, please? I got some communication for you while you're resting. Are you reflecting upon it? Getting your heart in order. Yes, I know, I already saw that. Strong reflected feelings, Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, moving on. Good, okay. Okay, all right, that's all you're doing. You're communicating your action plan. Okay, that's all I see you doing. I see you communicating with yourself first and then other people around you that you are moving forward, that you're doing a lot better, that you have taken the time to rest, restore, heal, that you are not done, completely understanding emotional dynamics and relationships, why this was so unstable. Okay, that's normal. It's going to take a minute to unravel all that. That's fair. But you do know this. You've accepted the ending. You have also accepted the fact that someone just wasn't there. Not fully, not really. That you allowed yourself to give to it despite kind of knowing who or what they are, or what they did not allow themselves to be, I suppose I should say, because again, the Lovers is a choice, so they had to choose not to open their heart. They had to choose not to love appropriately and fully to this. They had to choose all those things, but they also chose to get something from it. That's why it sucks. Yeah. It's kind of like I want to splash of those feelings, but not actually commit to them or grow into them. Right? That's what that is, this splashing. Like this. This is fun. Right? But it's not fun. It's not fun when people get hurt. And you're recovering from that hurt. I see your dedication to move on. Okay? You have shown me the Five of Pentacles twice, that's a problem for you, that the break hurts. It's happened once, it can happen again. And moving past that. Okay? You just seem to be moving forward with a stronger sense of relationship dynamic, that what you were struggling with back here, that you took the time to rest on. No relationships right now. I'm working through stuff. Okay? I want to know how I allowed myself to get caught up in something that's so unstable and so unfair. Okay? Good questions. And yeah, I agree with you. You should not just rush into new beds, new cups, or new homes. Take the time to reflect, heal, so you don't repeat the same mistake. Okay? Because there are things in here that are very, very preventable. Strong connection aside, which compels us to do stupid shit. Okay? When we're in love like that, and we have that strong connection like that, we can and will justify stupid shit. Especially staying in something that we know is going to have a one-way street ending. Right? I don't know how long you drug that out, but it was enough to exhaust you and to hurt you. And so now we're learning about emotional equilibrium, what allowed to this instability, our parts that we played in it, and why you were so unhappy about all that. Okay? It's kind of like, this is my one-time shot with this. This will never happen again. So we're learning, we're learning, we're learning. We don't want to repeat that mistake, and now I see you verbalizing my healing. This is what I have learned, and I don't know who you're talking to, but you feel comfortable talking to them about how you are feeling better, about your relationships and the idea of them, participating in them, because as far as I can tell, it's non-active. Between the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords, no, I see restoring your ideas of relationship should be, and emotional harmony should be, and same page energy should be. Okay. Yeah, and then I see you moving forward. It's looking like your heart space is being called somewhere else. Okay. And I see you moving towards that call, whichever that is. So I'm glad to see that you are not ignoring that call. Something is telling you to move outward in a different direction, and I believe you are honoring that. I don't know what it is, but I think you will in time. It could be happening now, here in Cancer season, or a month, maybe. But I see you moving in a different direction, with more confidence about where you came from and then what you should be entering. And it does look like you're entering something in the foreseeable future, not too far from now. So I want you to take all this knowledge with you, and that yes, the emotional exchange in a relationship, however it is labeled and or defined, should be easy. It should ideally be at the same pace. Okay? And it shouldn't be so difficult, and it shouldn't be something that you have to kind of bully yourself to continue to participate in, because you can kind of feel maybe there's something in this. Yes, there is something in this. And it was quite large and it was quite substantial between you two. But again, there's what's been fated towards you that was meant to be in your life in some way. It was meant to cross your timeline in some way. And then there's the free will of humans. And this person of their own free will chose to not fully engage their heart, and that was a choice. Love is a choice. Very rarely is it instantaneous. And for those who've experienced it that way, wow. But for most of us, it's a choice. They had the potential to really blast something open towards you. With all the emotional engines fired off. The pistons, everything's fired up, right? No. They chose not to. Okay? And that was their choice. And at the end of the day, you have to respect people's choices, even if you think it's stupid or it adversely hurts you. The fact of the matter is, it wasn't your call. You made your contribution clear, even while it cost you to do it. That was your choice. They could just as easily turn that scenario around on you. Sag chose to do that. I didn't ask them to. They took pleasure in it. Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have showed up. But they're right, too, in their way. Sag chose to throw all that love on me. Sag chose to demonstrate all that energy towards me and cause themselves conflict. I didn't ask them to do that. In a way, yes, they did. Because I did participate in some way. But ultimately, the degree to which you did was your choice, just like they had theirs. Lessons in all things. And that's what we're learning. I see your heart moving forward in a very different direction, very boldly. And it looks like it's something that you need to do, or that you feel is right. After you've communicated that you're in a better place, and that you're healing, and that you've been doing well in that respect, and that you kind of understand the problems and the dynamics of trying to force cups to fit when they won't or they choose not to. Correct. All lessons. It doesn't mean they're easy. In fact, lessons aren't lessons unless they're difficult. Otherwise, we don't remember them. Right? Otherwise, what's the point of a lesson if you're not going to bother to remember it? All right, keeping on. I don't know what that is. I honestly don't know, but it looks bold. It looks bold. To be honest with you, that could be you. It could be someone coming towards you. I don't quite know. It is a little fearful. You're a little fearful to take off in a new direction, even if it does call to you, but I still see you trying nonetheless. I think you're trusting your heart space more. Even if there's a little fear behind there, that's okay. That's normal. Especially after something like this. Okay, Temperance, that's you. Show me Temperance, please. Healing on the breakage, that fear. Show me Temperance, please. Show me Temperance, show me Temperance. Patience, healing, time. The bringing together the one's emotional complexity in order to forgive the self, forgive others. That's what true temperance is, you know. Forgiveness, patience, you know. And at the level that you engaged in this, yeah, I mean, I would expect, honey, that you would have to feel in some way the need to forgive yourself. What will make that easier is to understand that you felt that what you did at the time was right, even if you fought yourself on the subject. Nevertheless, you felt it was correct. Because you loved this boldly, even if it hurts you. So there's forgiveness in that. So long as your love was indeed love, and it was coming from a good and honest place in you. You might have felt foolish for all the effort you put into this, especially knowing how it was going to end. Especially knowing what their contribution level was, and you didn't want to see it, right? Put all that crap aside. Can you look in the mirror and say, I genuinely love this person? even if I was foolish, folly, or stupid. Can I honestly say, Sag, that I love this person and I did the best I fucking could? If the answer is yes, then forgive yourself. Show me Temperance. That's better, isn't it? 9 of Pentacles for the 9 of Pentacles. Look at you go. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah. Good. One of your lessons in this, I know it seems hard to believe, they had theirs, you have yours, like I said from the very beginning. Okay? These kind of bonds, you never know when they'll come back. They usually do. It's to resolve shit. But in the interim, we have our own things we need to apply to ourselves. Okay? You are healing, and you're doing phenomenal. 9 of Pentacles twice for you. You're killing it in your material world. You're very secure. You can stand on your own 2 feet. You make things happen. Good job. 8 of Cups, you have become emotionally distant from this. That was one of your lessons as judgment, is that you have to know when to emotionally walk away. Okay? It's one of the damnedest things, honey. Why does the universe put us in proximation to these kind of people or situations? Why? If it's fated, how come it was fated to hurt me? Remember free will? I said it's both. Life is both. It is both fate as well as free will. Pisses people off to no end because there's no straight answer. No, that's life. When has life ever had a straight answer? Ta-da! Yeah, were you two destined to meet? Yep. Did you both have lessons to learn and takeaways from this? Absolutely. Did it have the potential to be something more to work out? Yes. Did it? No. Why? Free will. That's why. So the universe can, hey, you two knuckleheads, get together. You're going to learn some shit. It's going to be awesome. You two kill it. Somebody's not opening their heart even though they like the feel of this. Okay. Shit, how long is that going out for? How long has it been now? 6 months? A year? 2 years? They're still connecting, but not connecting quite right. And now this person's really, really hurt. Sag keeps going at it, huh? Okay. Alright, you two knuckleheads, separate. They can only do so much. And we as humans can only do so much if we're not ready, or we still have things to learn. Your lesson was to emotionally distance yourself from this and to probably have done so a long time ago. I know it called to you. You did your part of your own free will to try to engage in it, to try, in fact, choose the lovers. That's all you did, is that you were the lover in this. You tried to choose it, but at your own cost, even when you had ample proof to stop. The other person, that was their lesson. We know you feel strongly towards this. You want to open your heart open towards it? It might be for you. You might have to make some sacrifices, but this could be... Okay, nope, they're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Okay. You're just going to occasionally have some light surface feelings for Sag and spin that out for how many years? Okay. Yeah, and the pain kicks in, and then it's our job to separate. And the more you emotionally separate yourself from this and forgive yourself, more to the point, possibly maybe forgive this situation, the better off literally you are. 9 of Pentacles. I don't just go around saying, oh, you should forgive. That's not easy. It's much easier to forgive the self by far. And what do I always say? Everything begins with the self. So when you can begin to forgive yourself for this situation and the part you played, okay? Again, the choice you made wasn't incorrect, okay? It was how long you continued to make the choice at your own cost when you saw that they were not participating at the same level. That's when you started to get yourself in trouble. And then you pull yourself out of the trouble. The more you emotionally distance yourself from it, forgive yourself, and then maybe forgive the situation in time. Okay? But no, I don't just recommend, oh, you should forgive, like it's so easy, like it's handing out prizes at the carnival. Honey, I had news for you, the carnival's rigged. Okay? Don't listen to the people who are being entertained by cotton candy and blinking lights and the Ferris wheel. Okay? Forgiveness is a deeply personal thing, and it takes time. Or do you think it's associated with patience? Forgive yourself first. Work on that. Okay, Five of Pentacles, please. Show me this Five of Pentacles. Show me that Five of Pentacles, please. Show me that Five of Pentacles. I know that's with you. I know. You feared the break way back here. You were afraid of being hurt, and that's exactly what happened. So you kept at it, and of course, ironically, that's what happened. We tend to experience the very thing we tried to avoid, you know? Seven of Wands, the Six of Cups, the King of Cups. Man, I know it. It's the lesson. Jeez Louise. It's the lesson. I know. The soul bond is here several times. Six of Cups, Lovers, yeah. It hurt to do it. Like I said, the love that you had for this situation or this person is or was very real. You weren't playing. You were choosing as best as you could choose this dynamic, or as I should say, you were choosing it as much as you were allowed, because there's so much blockage. They were willing to accept parts of it, but not the majority of it. So you kept up in the offer, right? And so they had to, that means they had to fight it that much more. In other words, they kept not choosing the choice. They repeated their problem that you repeated yours. Okay? The pain for this is lessening. Okay? Lesson you had to learn. And here's what's left after all this nonsense, is that you still have pure love for this from a good place in you. I saw that. I see that. It's beautiful. And that's, again, why I emphasize to you, do you remember what I said to you not too long ago? Because you genuinely love this person. You weren't fucking around with that. You meant it. That's why you can forgive yourself. For how long you fought yourself, and how long the pain drug on. You didn't want to have to break from it. But you are accepting it. And I see you moving somewhere else, powerfully so, or something powerfully is moving towards you. I don't quite know. I can't see it. It's there. But as you stand up for yourself and actually block this connection for the right reasons, not in anger, not in frustration, but because it was the right thing to do, to emotionally detach from it, you understand the pure heart you had for it. Okay? It is very complex, but it's here. You learning to disengage from this was your lesson. But all it really did was strengthen your particular conviction that your heart was coming from the best possible place for this connection. You did have good love for it. Very strong, good, healthy love for it. You really did love this person. But it's kind of like it required you to break from it, heal from it, and to be firm with it, to understand that you well and truly loved it for all the right reasons. Okay, you might have some Scorpio in your chart. It will be special to you, and it will always be special to you. But sometimes you have to distance yourself from that which you love in order to understand your real feelings for it. And it was there this whole time, you know? It was there this whole time. But it's kind of like this is best broken from. Because you understand how big your heart was towards it. You don't want to be hurt by the thing you love so much anymore. Because again, you had a good heart towards this. You know? And that's wisdom. That's the maturity. That's a really actually good example of the King and Queen of Cups energy. I have a huge heart for you. And it hurts. It's probably best that we separate if we can't reconcile. But at least I can say my heart for you was in the right place, if nothing else. The maturity of the King and Queen of Cups is such that they can speak to their very complex feelings You know, that doesn't mean that they're loved in return. That just means they know what they were capable of doing. You know? Show me that Nine of Pentacles, please. Show me that Nine of Pentacles, please. You still being you. Very strong. Independent. Experienced, and with a much stronger understanding of what you are capable of doing. At least from an emotional point of view. Made up your mind. Justice, again, there's that acceptance. It was the right thing, even if I didn't want it to be the right thing. Okay? Show me that Nine of Pentacles, please. Nine of Cups, there you are. The World. Eight of Pentacles, okay. Excuse me. Your definition of what makes you happy is changing, as it should. After everything you went through, it would make sense. It stands to reason, okay? That there are parts of you that you understood made you happy. Those parts are changing. And you're working through it. Eight of Pentacles. I told you, you look like a very secure person, and so you are. You're continuing to be so. You've shown a strong will, independence, and the ability to provide, experienced and noteworthy in your own right, many times over. Congratulations on this piece. The idea of you, Sag, what makes you happy is changing and shifting now, and then also more so in the future. It's looking like your definition for what personally pleases you and your concept of loving yourself and wish fulfillment is shifting a little bit. Pieces are dropping off that no longer fit you. This is also proof of change, okay? And there's something in here that you seem to be engaging with, possibly someone, okay? It feels good. I'm saying that with caution because you are approaching it with caution. But your heart is softer towards it, and it feels more receptive towards whichever this is. It's actually provoking in you another Queen of Cups, another version of you that seems to be responding well with somebody, okay? While you continue to override that background noise of Five of Pentacles, we don't want to have that sense of fear of abandonment. It was justified with this person because you knew what the outcome was going to be, even while you kept fighting for it. So that Five of Pentacles makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's going to make sense for you for always, okay? Yeah, I see parts of you changing, as they should. Your definition, again, for what makes you happy is changing. And it's for the right reasons, and you're working through it. I'm a little bit more curious about what that is. Possibly relationship energy is starting to take shape for you. That is not whatever this is. It seems to be something else. Let's see if we can get a little bit more on that. Do we want to... Okay. Ugh, actually I shouldn't, but why not? I'm just very curious about that. You seem to have some sort of an emotional exchange with somebody that feels very fresh, feels very different. And you can't help but contemplate if you're ready for this. That's natural. That's normal. Especially as your emotional self is shifting and changing so much. Yeah, they are representing a new option, and it feels right, but it's scary. And so else to explain that, yeah. It looks like it's a brand new option in love. However, it does stress you out a little bit because it does feel like it's supposed to be. Like this is happening with the Hierophant here. Somebody is presenting their emotional energy towards you, and it's just provoking old fears, okay? And I can see why. This is probably happening a little sooner than you had anticipated, okay? Again, I don't want that to freak you out, okay? It's something that you're going to have to work through for a while. Where did that Ace of Cups go? I know. Oh, the Chariot. Here we go. The Chariot, Ace of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Four of Wands. I see something for you in the emotional development in terms of relationship potential. With it is provoking that sense of what if. And you had a lot of, well, I don't know how long this drug out. Long enough for you to show me that you have to forgive yourself and that you had a lot of conflict with yourself despite knowing the outcome. So yeah, you're going to have a little bit of haunting attached to you about what if this happens again. the bigger part of that energy shows me positivity. It is an option in love. With the Nine of Swords, and there's some stress attached to it. It's fear. It's a fear response. Okay? But for the most part, I see you trying to open yourself towards it because it does feel like it's time, or that it's correct, or that it's legit with that Hierophant energy. Okay? It's like this feels legit, but that doesn't mean I'm not scared. I think that's reasonable. And it could literally be Taurus. Doesn't have to be. We also have Cancer here. So I see you exploring that. Okay? And trying to keep the fears at bay. The old ones. They don't apply to this situation. We need to keep that in mind. All right. Time has been delayed. I saw that. It's an adjustment period. I understand. You know, and that's literally that Hanged Man energy. Yes, it has been delayed. Not wanting to rush into anything too soon. Just keep going with that particular flow and don't focus on time frames. Yeah, I agree with you. So that's entering whenever that's entering. And should you choose to engage in it, I just know that it does feel legit, but that doesn't mean you aren't a little scared. Okay? And that's fine. This is already kind of said and done, and I'm kind of seeing the fallout of it. The biggest piece by far is that you have mentally accepted the situation for what it is, okay? And while it is, or at least the love energy that you understood was true for you, that it necessarily wasn't for the other party. They didn't choose it, okay? They had the potential to, and they hung on to that potential for a long time, and that's why you were confused, and that's why you kept fighting for it. They clearly hung on to the potential of the emotional avenue that you offered, but they chose not to actually go down the avenue with you. You understand? Okay? Accept this, process it, digest it. Accept this, process it, digest it. Okay? This person chose their level of free will. They chose not to go down the avenue. They just like to look down it. You kept trying to run up the avenue to bring them down, and that was your choice. So I want you to continue to process this and how things should move smoothly and freely of two people's own free wills, because I see that's the space that you were headed towards next. Okay? All right, Sag, I hope this helped you. Okay? I will see you in exactly 2 weeks for your next reading. Take care. Be well.